Guys, so it's time for another Tesla update. A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me asking for a Model 3 update, and so that's why I wanted to make this video, but I also wanted to make this video a little more general about what you should do before ordering your Model 3. This is more of a video as kind of and make you think more about your options and try to actually go through the options and determine what is right for you, because I feel like there's a lot of information that isn't out there readily available to the public, and you tend to get sucked into the vortex of I need all the options because that's the only way I'll get the full Tesla experience. I've heard a lot of people say this, and that's just not true. So that's why I just want to really go through everything that's there about the Model 3 and talk about why should you get such options and why should you get other options, but only if you're really in that circumstance. But before that, since this is still another addition to our Model 3 series, there's a quick update to the Tesla website which I wanted to talk about, which is pretty neat. When you refresh the page, it starts with this image of all three vehicles, and then it zooms into the Model 3, as that's probably the vehicle that they're trying to push the most right now. Then if you click and drag, you can go to Model X and Model S. Yeah. And then if you scroll down, they talk about Experience Tesla, which is the test driving. They also have their solar and power wall here. What's interesting is that that is actually the solar roof there, which there's been a lot of mixed reviews, give or take, on. No one really knows what's going on with that. But anyways, this is not about solar roofs, so let's just move on to the bottom. Then they talk about Tesla accessories, which is nice to see that they've added that here onto their homepage. Maybe this is a sign that they're going to add more accessories in the future. Let's hope so. Anyways, let's go back up to the top and let's go to Model 3, which is what this video is about. So that's been enough about the overall Tesla website. Let's jump into this. So let's say you're ready to buy your Model 3, and now it's time to decide your options. The options, of course, this is what makes a huge difference in the payment. And the Tesla Model 3 is actually dropped in price. They dropped the price by $1,000 or $2,000, somewhere in between that, after the federal tax rebate went down by half in the US, that is. Around the world, I'm actually not exactly sure, but they did start delivering in Europe, which is pretty nice. Anyways, let's talk about what are the new prices of these options. So, mid-range battery, even though it says 34,850 here, that's a very misleading number, so I'm just going to try to not go by that number. We're going to go with 42,900, which is before we talk about all the rebates. Let's not include that. Also, this includes estimated savings, which I feel it's very misleading, so I'm just not going to refer to that number in the course of this video. So the mid-range battery is 42,900. Then the long-range battery is 49,900. And then the performance is 6,900. So, let's see what might be the right option for you. Personally, I would go with the mid-range battery. And actually, the reason that I would still wait is because my ideal would be the base $35,000 battery. Of course, then I'd add options, which I'll talk about later. But for now, this is, I think, the best option. And the reason that I say that is because the supercharger network is so strong that you really don't need more range than what they're offering. And 264 is a lot of miles. In fact, on our Model X, we have a 237 mile range, which is plenty for road trips, and it's plenty for day-to-day use. So that's really not an issue. Again, though, the range estimate that Tesla gives, what I've realized is that that's very false. You tend to get quite under that. I think in our Model X, we'll get around 200 miles. So I'm going to estimate that in this car, you're going to get probably around 230. But that being said, this mid-range battery is not the right option for everyone. There's other options that might be right for you. So let's say that you're somewhere where you need to drive a lot per day to get to work, or if you're living somewhere where there just isn't the supercharger network isn't built out completely. Maybe in Alaska, I don't think that it's been built out completely. Then maybe you want to go with the longer range battery. Again, if we go back to the point about Alaska, The dual motor is fantastic if you live in snow. Now, I'm from California, so the dual motor is not really a big deal here. But if you're somewhere where it rains or if it snows or even if you just need that extra power, then that's definitely a good option for you. But if you're somewhere where it's dry and it's just going to be a commuter car or even of course a road trip vehicle, you don't need that. You don't need that dual motor. That's what I would say. The performance, now that option is there if you're getting this as a car for fun. It's a big increase in price, like around 10 grand from the dual motor, from 49,900 up to 6,900. It's more than 10 grand. And then it's even larger from the rear wheel drive model. So it is a big jump in price. The only case in which I would suggest the performance is if you just have that money and you want a car that you can take to the track for a weekend and have fun with it. But if not, you get less range on this than your dual motor. Actually, you get the same range, but people say that you get less range in the performance. It's really not worth that extra money. I'd say that you would spend that extra money somewhere else. And if you are going with the performance, I suggest that you think about if that's the right option for you, because it may or may not be the right option for you. That's up to you to decide. I'm gonna say that if you just have that money, then it's only worth it. But let's stick with the rear wheel drive and let's go forward. Exterior, as we talked about in the last update, they do have these few colors. Now, I've been told by a lot of people that this color is a multi-coat paint. But by the Tesla factory, now I do know that they speak false things quite often. In fact, I've caught them many times saying stuff that's wrong. But they had told me in the factory itself, so I think it could be semi-reputable, that the included color is only a single coat of paint. Meaning that if you go through the clear coat with some sort of scratch, it's pretty easy to go through the paint and get right to the primer or even down to the aluminum. Or in this car, I believe it's steel, wherever the scratch is, of course. But they say that the included paint is only a single coat. Now, I've been told by other people that it's not a single coat, it's still a multi-coat. So I'm not completely sure, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that you should go with a different color just for that safety purpose. Given that the colors are $1,500 more, but $1,500 is a small price to pay for a car that you're going to have for 10 years, give or take, 5 to 10 years. Personally, my favorite is the blue, $1,500 for this color. I think it's totally worth it. You go up to the white, and then if you go up to the red even, that's a $2,500 option. At that point, you start to think, is this actually worth it? $2,500 is a lot for just a paint. But I think $1,500 is still, you can still validate that sort of purchase. But let's select the blue and let's go on to the wheels. Wheels, they have the 18-inch Aero wheels and then they have the 19-inch Sport wheels. Now, I do think that these 19-inch Sport wheels look great, but again, $1,500 for wheels. For me, that I can't really back up that purchase, so I would go with these. Now, I know even I think that these don't look that great. They're actually quite ugly. But something that most people do not know is that these are just plastic hubcaps. These can be removed, and then there's actually a black rim underneath that looks quite amazing. And a black rim on, anytime you're getting a car, I think that a black rim is always the best way to go, since black rims just look amazing on any color. So for free, you're actually getting a better color rim, and I think that that's definitely a better option than paying $1,500 for something that doesn't look as good. So let's stick with that, and let's go on to interior. Now over here, if you are going with the all black interior, if you want to save $1,000, that could make sense, but I want to put out a point there for the black and white interior and try to make you rethink that. The black and white interior, it's, I think the biggest point that people say for this interior is that white gets stained quite easily, but if you just YouTube different videos for stress testing the white interior of a Tesla, you'll see that these are actually very well designed seats, and the color is not going to fade, so that will not be an issue. I can guarantee that. Another thing is that the Model 3's cabin is not that large, but when you put a white color as opposed to this black color, it starts to feel a whole lot more spacious. Just the color white really brings it out, and also a white interior will not get that hot in the summertime. So again, if you're here in California, it does get hot in summer, and the black interior gets quite hot during those months. So for $1,000 for an option that's even cheaper than paint, I think that the black and white interior is a good option to go with. It definitely does improve the look of the car, and it makes it feel more premium. I think that the white and black just gives it a more premium look to the vehicle, and you can tell just by the whole trim and everything, it looks better. So if you're not going with that, I suggest that you rethink that option and try to find $1,000 that you can spend on this, since this might be a good option for you. Let's go off to autopilot, and if you're not selecting autopilot, then I think that this is one option that if you can't afford autopilot, I suggest that you hold off on purchasing a Model 3. I say that with the utmost importance, because autopilot is what makes a Tesla special. There are other vehicles that are electric, such as Nissan Leaf, Chevy Bolt. Now, I know that those vehicles are nothing in comparison to the Tesla, but my favorite feature of Tesla is autopilot, and just the amazing code that they've written behind autopilot is what makes it so special. It really makes it a worthwhile option for you. So I suggest that you find $5,000 that you can spend on enhanced autopilot, just so that you can get the amazing features. And if you're ever going on a road trip, it's the most useful thing, so that you aren't tired when you get to your destination. It also it maps everything so well. In enhanced autopilot, you even change lanes. It can do freeway off and on ramps. So it's just gotten so much better. And if you decide afterwards that you have the money to purchase it, it's going to be $7,000, which at that point it's getting very expensive. And $5,000 is expensive, but it's actually worth that money. So I suggest that you do get this enhanced autopilot. Even if you don't get any of the other options, get the enhanced autopilot, because that's the most important option for a Tesla. Lastly is the payment. I'm just kind of including this for due diligence with everything else. So, of course, it's just all standard. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the Model 3. If you are considering a Model 3, first of all, congratulations. You're going to get an amazing vehicle. And second of all, I think that you're going to love this car. So I just wanted to make this video to help you think once more about what options that you're getting, and kind of give you another look into the options with kind of my take on it and what might be a good option for you. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Now, in the next 6 weeks, we're going to have some amazing videos. If you've been following our Instagram, we're going to have videos with the McLaren 720S and the Porsche 911 Carrera. These 6 videos have been some of the best film videos that we've ever made. So highly suggest that you guys stay tuned for those. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.